Hey, it's your boy Gavin, back with another video. In this video, I'm just going to talk about some questions that are commonly asked and also some concerns with what is happening right now out there with the pandemic and the economy. You know, should I start an Amazon business? You know, most people would answer this question, no, this is not the best time to start an Amazon business. That's generally what people think. To be honest, the best time to start a business is pretty much any time. That's kind of the general answer. Any time to start the Amazon business. Now with the economic downturn, I guess you're looking at people are not spending as much or they're changing their habits. But one thing that is happening is more people are turning online to buy things. Obviously, they're not, they've been told to stay at home because of the social distancing and the shops are shut. They're now going online to shop. So is this the best time to start an online business? Well, if you're online, then you're going to get those sales. So is it the best time? Yeah, I think the best time is now. Even in a pandemic, yes, the best time is now. Okay, so this kind of leads on to my next frequently asked question. What products should I buy? This is a really good question, because now that we're seeing the pandemic and we're seeing the economic downturn, what products, it's taught us a couple of things basically. And I mentioned this in another video. You shouldn't get products that, like, your whole range should not just be luxury products, because you get stung, you'd be hurting right now. If all your products are luxury products like gold watches, things that people will only buy because they just splurge and they have extra money, then you're gonna get burnt. That's why you're always diverse. Your product range should be items like, luxury items, but also diverse to other niches that people are buying pretty much on a daily basis. Personal care, health, pets. If you're quite diverse, then even in a pandemic, your products are still going to sell. My product sales have pretty much remained the same right through this whole economic downturn, because I'm kind of lucky. My products are not luxury items, and they're sort of health related in a way, kind of. They're connected. So I'm not seeing a big downturn of my Amazon business because I've diversified. All right, so keep that in mind. Can you catch the virus if you're going to buy products on Amazon? Most likely, I would say no, because now if we're talking FBA, because by the time the product gets from China to Amazon FBA, there's a processing time, and then that could take any number of times. If it's going by sea, it'll probably take 30 plus days for it to, by the time it leaves China, to get to the Amazon warehouse. All right, now we're talking about Australia here, okay? Then even if it's flown in, it's probably take 7 days, probably take a couple of days to process. Then it's going to sit on the shelf for maybe another 2 or 3 days if it sells pretty quickly. Then it's going to take a couple more days for it to process, because right now everything is running on a skeleton crew because of the pandemic. There's not as many workers. Amazon have stated this on their website, so that's going to be a delay. So by the time you get it, it's going to be, and if it happened to be come from China, it's most likely the virus would have died anyway. It can't remain on the surface. It can't live because of the heat. So I would say no, definitely no. Okay, what products should I sell in a pandemic or right now? Look, I would not go after face masks, sanitary wipes, or sanitary gel, medical equipment, because you don't know if you invest a lot of money into those products, and then the pandemic, they find a cure, they find a vaccine, you could be stuck with all those goods. And also, like, there's a lot of people doing that, and it's risky, because you could get, if your prices are too high, well above what Amazon is allowing, then they might get you for price gouging, even though you don't seem that it could be possible that the price is that high. Really, it's really up to them what the call is, and you could get your account suspended. So I personally, no, I would not go near that because it is risky. There's too many risks involved. If you already had like pallets and pallets and pallets of masks that were already coming in, either the beginning or right when it happened, or even just before, then yeah, of course you'd be laughing. But to get into it now, I would stay away personally. Is China back at work? Yes, China is back at work. Things are pretty much getting back to normal over there. But the problem is the logistics chain is not back to work. So they're producing, but the logistics chain is not. In other words, you can't send stuff from air because it's extremely expensive, because there's limited flights coming out of China. Actual shipping from China, obviously limited workforce. The time is going to take longer for you to ship from China to the port, to your port. And then, even then, the logistics within Australia, they're probably running on a skeleton crew because of the pandemic. That's going to take longer. So there's going to be delays. So even though China is working, the logistics our end is not working. So it's going to take time to recover. For American sellers, what products will be accepted into Amazon FBA? Only essential products be allowed to be sent into Amazon FBA. So things like scientific and industrial, baby, pet products, personal care and beauty, those type of products, those product categories. Okay, anything that's not essential, Amazon will not allow it because they just don't have the workforce at the moment. They're prioritizing the things that people need. So that's something to think about as well. See, so baby, pet, these are the niches that you can expand into, because even when there's a pandemic, Amazon will still allow that. So that's something to think about. What do you do when you bundle products and you send them to Amazon, or will they bundle it for me? The answer is no. You need to bundle them prior to sending it to Amazon FBA, because each bundle has their own SKU, and you need to sort that out. So, for example, if you have a beach ball, that'll be one SKU. If you have 2 beach balls, that'll be a totally different new SKU. Your supplier is going to put 2 beach balls, put it into like a poly bag, and then they're going to get a new barcode on that poly bag. So then when Amazon worker comes along and they scan it, it's a new barcode altogether, and it says 2 beach balls, and then they know exactly to send that parcel. Do not send a whole bunch of beach balls to Amazon, because it's not going to work. In fact, because when you create your listing, you have to put in a SKU, and then that creates a label, which then can go onto the actual barcode, like a barcode label, which goes onto the product. All right. So there's actually it's no way to get around it anyway, because of the way they've set it up. All right. If my stock is still in transit or it's in the port, will Amazon accept it? And again, this goes back to my previous question. If it's baby, if it's scientific and industrial, if it's personal care, hair and beauty, if it's pet products, and those categories they're allowing, yes, they'll accept it. But if it's not, then they will not accept it. They'll reject your shipment when you send it to Amazon. I don't know whether they're going to extend it or not, but from April the 5th, they're allowed. You're going to wait till April the 5th, but who knows? They could extend it. Can you import other brand name products? And the answer to that is absolutely not. Do not import brand name products, because you're infringing on their IP. And if you go out there and get Apple products or Nike products, they're probably fake to start off with. And if you try to sell them on Amazon sneakily, and you're just going to get your account suspended, and you're going to get a cease and desist order from those brand names. So don't even do that. You can only sell those brand names if you if you purchase them and you do a retail arbitrage, then you have receipts of the actual store. Say if you bought them at Walmart, then you'll have the receipt. I bought XYZ amount of Nike socks, and then when Amazon actually pulls you up and says, you need to show us proof that these actual legit products, legit brand name products, then you can show them the Walmart receipt. So no, don't even go there, okay? Do you need your own UPC or FNSQ? Because some people are actually getting the product, and they've what will happen is the supplier will have like a generic box that already has a barcode on it. If you're doing your own private label, sometimes what you can do is, first of all, the answer to that is you need your own barcode. Don't use the generic box, because that generic box is going to have a barcode on it that is not your barcode. And when you send the goods from China and send them into Amazon, what's going to happen is they're going to take the product, they're going to look at it, they're going to scan it, and then they're not going to recognize that barcode, because that barcode is someone else's barcode. Someone else, what they might even do is actually just either flag it or just take that product. I don't think they would, but because it's got that barcode, well then that barcode belongs to that seller, and they just take their goods and put it at that seller. I don't think they would do that. So it is very, very important that you get, if you're getting the supplier to print out the box, give them your barcode. Then that box will have your barcode on it. It'll look nice and professional. When they scan it, they know that it will go to your store. The other option is to just get a normal generic box, get them to print out the labels, right, in the label strips. Then just put the barcode and then put it on the box. They'll do it individually. Now, you don't take the FNSQ barcode and then just give it directly to the supplier. What you need to do is, when you create your listing, you have, Amazon will ask you for a UPC or FNSQ. You buy these barcodes from like Barcode Mania, and then you input that barcode in the listing. Once you input the barcode in the listing and it comes back and saying, yep, it's all sweet, then when you create the listing, and as you go through and you want to send inventory to Amazon, then Amazon will create a barcode, all right? It could be a different barcode. It tells Amazon that this barcode belongs to you, all right? Then you take the barcode that you print out when you're doing your inventory planning. Then you take that barcode that you download from Amazon and you give that barcode to the supplier, and then that's your barcode. You don't just take the barcode that you got from Barcode Mania and give it directly to the supplier. Do not do that, okay? When you create your listing in your product, you'll understand what I mean. Where do you get your product photos? Well, when you get your product photos, there's a couple of ways. You can either do them yourself, so you get a sample, do it yourself. You can either get it done from like someone like a freelancer, and then they can then just send them the product. Okay, you have to send them product. They'll take photos of it. They'll send you the images, and then upload to Amazon. So that's what I did first when I first started. I mean, in fact, I still do it now. Just get like a generic image. Doesn't matter what it is, because Amazon, when you create your listing, Amazon will just ask you for an image. You have to have one image. So that image, that number one image, has to be 1,000 by 1,500 pixels, and it has to be on a white background. So when you get your photographer, get him to take a photo of it with those specs, with a high spec camera. My photos were like 4,000 megapixel, 5,000, like 4,000 by 5,000 pixels, because they are really high-end photos. You could blow them up, and then when the customer comes to your listing, when you hover over the image, it blows up a bigger photo. That's because my image photo was like 4,000 by 5,000 pixels. that can see all the fine details. That's why you get a professional photographer when you're doing your photos, and make sure it's on a white background. All right. Another way is you could just get someone to do it on Fiverr. Also, another tip is to get your photos done. You can even get them done in China. So just get one sample to send it to, and you can find Chinese photographers on China, or just Google search them. Just go Amazon Chinese photographer, and they'll do them for 5 or 10 USD each per photo. Get your supplier to send it to your photographer in China, and they'll do the photos. Make sure that they've got experience in Amazon photos, then they know everything. They know exactly what to do, all right? Another most common question is, I get stuck for product ideas. What should I do? How do I get product ideas? Going back to what I said earlier with the trending products, you want to get into products that are going to be trends in the future. People are going to change their what they buy, their spending habits, and so you don't want to get into fad products. I mean, you can if you've got extra funds, but I would look at long-term trends that are now starting to trend upwards. And the way I do it is simple. I go online and I search like drop shipping products are a good idea, because they're always got fad products and trending products. Also, I go on TV, watch TV. I watch YouTube. And TV is good for like watching the news, and they always have these programs, community-based type of programs. They also have, every now and again you'll see these things pop up. Go on BuzzFeed.com and you'll see new products coming. Read your local magazines and newspapers. Just see what's on Facebook and see what's trending on Facebook. Go and search on eBay bestsellers, and also go on Amazon movers and shakers. And just generally just look around, see what's happening, see what's trending, see what's buzzing on social media, Twitter, and you'll get an idea of what's coming up. If you do your research long enough, you'll have an idea what's coming up. And once you get on a really good product, it can change your business. So you've contacted a lot of suppliers, and many of them said, look, you need to order 1,000 or 500 pieces. Those products are maybe $5 each. If you're looking at 1,000 pieces, there's already $5,000. Then another shipping, there's probably another $4,000 or $5,000 landed. So all up now, you're looking at about 10 grand. Add a bit of extra miscellaneous. All of a sudden, it's starting to build up. So, I would get lower MOQ, or lower minimum order quantity. Sometimes they don't want to do that. That's fine. Just move on. Go to the next seller. Another way too is to go to Ready and Ship in Alibaba and just see what they're selling if there's smaller volume. Obviously, if you're buying smaller volume, the price will be higher. Sometimes it might be 10% more, then it's no big deal. Sometimes it might be 20%. Sometimes it might be double the price. Then just move on. Don't worry about it. Just move on. Another way, you could try AliExpress. Find some good suppliers in AliExpress that maybe the price is only like 10% more. Then no problem. Just buy it off AliExpress, because you're going to get it small quantity. I'll rather pay 10% more and get smaller quantity to test the item than just invest in 1,000 pieces and then find out it doesn't sell. You're stuck with all that inventory. You don't want to do that. Should I start like a sole proprietor or a company? Well, personally, I started a company straight away. Just open up a company online. There's a bunch of, just Google it, all right? I'm talking about Australian sellers here. You get all your documents from a company. They'll send it out to you within 3 days. Then just go to your bank with all the documents and say, hey, I want a bank account with just everything's connected, the company name, ABN, and the bank account. So everything's nice and easy. So then once you hand that over to your accountant, it's all there, right? If you want to do sole proprietor, personally, I would just get a company. But if you want to start off small, you're going to be taxed at a higher rate. But if you just want to have a dabble first with Amazon, go sole proprietor, but you're gonna pay more tax. Okay, so it just depends on your budget and what you can start off with. Obviously, if you're just starting with one product, you might want to just sole proprietor. There's some questions, some answers there that you can, that might help you. moving forward, this is an opportunity, okay, despite the economic climate right now. This is opportunity. I think Amazon's going to get bigger and bigger in Australia. People are now turning online, wanting to buy the stuff online, getting home delivery. And all these new tech companies are popping up because people want convenience. Everything's at your smartphone right now. And think about the products that people are going to want. And also something to think about is the baby boomer generation is getting older. They're tech savvy, right? They're starting to learn how to use technology and use their smartphone. And we're going to look at 2 billion baby boomers are going to retire. So this is a huge opportunity in this sector on what are they going to want. They're going to shop online. What are they going to want? If you can answer that question on what these people are going to want, because they're going to be buying online, you can make a fortune. Literally, you can make a fortune. So think deeper on what they want. If you've got grandparents, ask what they buy. What are you going to be buying? What do you spend your money on? What do you think is important? And if you can answer those questions and get products that will serve that baby boomer population, you'll become a multi-millionaire. Trust me, this is the biggest demographic. It's happening right now. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave your comments below. If you have any more questions, I'll make some more videos. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next video. Catch you later.